Hello, welcome. George Mason Show, huh? A terrific guest on tonight. Great guest. Head football, varsity coach, Calvin Whitfield, huh? From Jamaica High School. I'm going to tell you about his journey for the season that he had and his plans for the future. And we're just going to chop it up. Coach Whitfield's an educator. He's a former player. That's why he knows the game so good. I love his quote. One of his quotes always sticks out in my head, what he says to the kids. As you see, I'm wearing Jamaica High School banner because I help Coach Whitfield out. I assist him from time to time when I have the time, and I love it, you know. But yeah, Coach Whitfield's a former player. He played for Rhode Island University. He was Hall of Famer, out of the Hall, as a running back, which was interesting. His forte, they switched him to defense, and he won honors, accolades, on that side of the ball as well. Okay, he's a Hall of Fame running back. He comes out of New Rochelle High School, where he was Hall of Famer there as well. So Coach Whitfield knows the game. And he's here. He took his team to the chip. When I say chip, that's the championship here in New York City, in Queens, New York. And if you guys don't know, I'm based out of New York City. And we'll get more into to that later on. But I want to share some stuff with you before I bring Coach Whitfield out. This is old picture of him when he was with the Rams, right? The Rhode Island Rams in senior class, 82. Boy, it sounds like it's a long time ago, but it's really, I tell you, it's like yesterday. And here he is. There he goes. Yeah, looks slimmed down. Looks like he's ready to go. Look like he's ready to play some football, huh? Yeah. And without further ado, let me bring him out. It's Coach Whitfield, huh? Where you go. Here you go.
Good to see you.
Look like you still could get after it. Yeah. You always say be a student of the game. And
hey, that's what it's all about. You gotta be.
Yeah.
You gotta be.
But you started as a player, and you took it. You played some pro ball, and I had mentioned to you, as my opinion. Tell the story. You started on the D side, on the defensive side of the ball.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, I went to school. I was recruited as a running back, and actually, when I got there, it was loaded at running back. They had about 5 other running backs in front of me as a freshman. So, I mean, I knew it was going to take some time for me to get in the rotation, even to get my shot. So I just told him, I said, "Look, Coach, I want to play now. So, I'd like to can you give me a shot on defense?" So they put me on defense and did well over there, made all conference as a sophomore. And then came back as a junior, did some good things. And then as a senior, came back, needed running back. So I went back to running back. And actually, that's where I wanted to be. But so I had did well over there for the season. So it was a good experience.
So you came in as a running back, and they were stacked up and loaded with running backs. So you went to the coach to ask to go to the other side of the ball.
I did, and initially they was concerned about me wanting to compete. Had nothing to do with competing. I mean, I could compete with anybody, but if you got 5 guys who were, not freshmen, but they are sophomores and juniors, 2 and 3 years ahead of me. I mean, I know it's going to be a long road for me to break the lineup because I'm just walking in the door. So I told him I just want to play. I want to play now. I want to compete for a spot right now.
So did
So they
you
gave me an opportunity.
start as a freshman on defense?
Well, I was a freshman, and then when I came back, actually, because when I came in as a freshman, they had 5 guys. I mean, a couple of them guys. I think one you competed with, Leroy Shaw. He competed with you when you was over there at Bayside. When you played, and then you had Kai Davidson, I believe played with at Bayside. They had Sean Covington, and then I had a couple other guys, from Connecticut and I think Jersey. So they're pretty
Kai
stacked over there.
Kai was a running back. I mean,
Kai was a running back when I first got there.
He wasn't a receiver, no.
Kai was a running back when I first got there, and then and then I came back as a sophomore, and I redshirted, and Kai was playing a receiver that year that I redshirted. Yeah, I redshirted. He might have played some running back, but he was at receiver also. But again, I redshirted that year, so I really didn't play. I didn't play at all. Yeah. So they, like I said, they were stacked. And then when I came back, I was on defensive side of the ball. And I couldn't complain because at the end of the day, out of the 4 years that I played, I was all conference 3 years. 2 at defense, 2 on defense, 1 on offense. My last year.
And you set the record, or did you break the record? Then set the Russian record at Rhode Island.
Well, my senior year, when I went to running back, I did set the record. I did set the record. The record was a 30-year. The record was like 30 years old at the time, and so I broke that record. And so I had a lot of success as a running back, but I think that in retrospect, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't play running back. I would stay on defense because that's where my career.
That's where you're shot.
That's where my future as a player would have been. But
you didn't know, and you were a team player.
Hey, I did what I went there to do, play running back, and
right.
And I'm good with that, and so, but you always look back on things and trying to figure out maybe I should have did this, maybe I should have done that, but I'm happy with the way things worked out. Can't complain.
I hear you. But the thing is that giving it over again, as you just said, that you definitely probably would have just stayed on the D side of the ball. I mean, you went there as a running back. They needed you on the D side, or you volunteered to say you wanted to play now. That's the way you laid it out, that you said that you wanted to play. And then you ended up playing. They put you on the D side of the ball. You played, and you had success there. The thing is that the scouts, when they came to NFL scouts, the pro scouts, and they wanted to see a defensive, Calvin Whitfield, number 4, on the D side of the ball. Here you are, you're toting the ball, you're toting the rock. You're carrying it, you're breaking records and everything, but they wanted to see what you could do on the D side of the ball, So that hurt your chances somewhat,
Yeah, well, yeah. And that's pretty accurate. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So, if I had to do it again, I'd probably stay on defense and make a mark over there, and and you never know what would happen from there. But
Yeah.
but like I said, I had success over there running the football, and I'm good
But
with it.
you did your thing on both sides of the board. You proved yourself,
Yeah,
and you weren't selfish. You were a team player, as I said, and you stepped up. Whatever I can do, coach, hey, let me know. I want to play. That was in your blood. You wanted to play. So that's where it led you. So I commend you. So a lot of players, man, they're selfish now. These kids, they don't understand what team ball is about. They really don't. The coaches always say there's no I in team, that kind of thing, right? But then we had some, being with you over at the Jamaica High School, we had some great ball players. We had some, you know, be it that some was selfish, can say that. I'm not going to name names,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you were in the championship this year, and I commend you for that. And I went to camp with you. I went to football camp with you, and it's a great tool, if I can call it that, for the young men. We had a great camp. We had it was a terrific camp, and I was really impressed with the young men, with your team. When I first seen them, when I came out and went over to the field around, I looked and I saw. I said, "Oh man!" I came back and I told you right away. I said, "Yo, man, you got a team, you got a squad." They impressed me because they took the initiative to do the calisthenics on their own without your instruction or anything like that. Which, like I said, that impressed me. We had great ball players, but we didn't have leaders. Like in 2015 was our best year when I was there, too. That I felt, but we just
Yeah,
didn't have those guys that stepped up.
yeah. Well,
You
the
know,
guys that we had this year, they were solid kids. They wasn't really great athletes, but they were kids who were motivated. They worked hard, and they did everything they could to perform at the best they could, as best they could. And I think I think that was the key for the success that we had this year. And again, there was motivated kids,
you had a
and
squad, no question about that.
yeah. Well, you know what? You mentioned 2015. 2015 team, if we can go back that far, it was no doubt a much more superior team. But this team was, I would say, probably they played well together, although they didn't have the same skills.
Yeah,
And
20,
if you can play well
2015 was
together, you
special.
can win games, and
You
that's
can
what we
win
did this
games,
year.
and you proved that because 2015 was definitely a skilled squad, more individual ball players. You had cats that stood out, and yeah. So, but they won games and everything, but we just didn't have that leader. And we had those cats in there. So many of them could have stepped up and really led the team, and we went to the semifinals. We took it to the hilt, and the last week is like I don't know. I think when we beat Bayside double overtime, and we beat them twice that year, I think that was our champ. That, for me, in my opinion, I think that was our chip. You know, I want to say right here, hello, Karen. That's Karen Bowden. She's out where Aaron Rodgers comes from, in Wisconsin. Hey, Karen.
Wisconsin. Wow.
Yeah, she's out there with, if
That's
it's
a long
cold.
way. Okay.
Yeah, and her grandson, I think he took it to the ship. Your grandson is a baller, right, Karen? She'll answer. And there's we got Kim Roper, Kim in the house on the check-in. Hello, Kim. How you doing, Queen? God bless you. Blessings and peace, everyone. Good to be here. Good to have you here. Yes. So yeah, we got Coach Whitfield, who's telling us about his exploits, man, as a coach, as a ball player. Coach was a Hall of Famer out of Rhode Island, broke all kind of running records and stuff. Yeah, he oh, Karen said, yeah, he made it to the did he win the championship, Karen? He made it. Her grandson was in the chip high school as well. Yeah, and
Okay.
Minnesota out there in Wisconsin is rugged. She stuffed us off with Aaron Rodgers. She's responsible. Yeah, she's a liaison to the Green Bay Packers, and she suggested that Aaron come here to New York. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't think he helps, but he's here. Yeah.
Karen says awesome. Oh, state. Yeah, he won the state chip.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
congrats to him. Okay.
Yeah.
Great
So
job.
it's interesting. So yeah, Cal, coach. Like I said, I saw a lot of qualities in those kids. They were teachable, coachable, and you did a hell of a job with them, man. As they say, a yeoman's job. And it's still up on YouTube to see. It's Jamaica High School versus Grady for the championship. It was cold out there that day, about 20 degrees.
It was it was a little cold out. Yeah, it was. Um, I don't think it was a factor in us falling short, but it was cold out. No doubt
Yeah,
about that. But I would have to follow up and say that, there's a big part of the success this year, and I think it can cross over almost to any other team that you see playing football or any other sports team, was leadership. We had some very good, for the first time in a number of years, we had some quality guys that stepped up as captains and who were bona fide leaders. And you don't always, it's hard to find young people who are willing to step up and not be like everybody else. Okay, because a lot of the way it works today with kids, especially in that team environment, nobody wants to step out of the box and chastise or speak to somebody else or tell somebody else what they should be doing, even if it's in the best interest of the team. Because of this, it's just a different environment that kids are growing up in, and nobody wants to be that guy that's stepping out the box, so to speak. But we had those guys this year, the two guys in particular, and the guys bought into it,
you
and it
talking
was
about Devon and Ducci?
Devon and Ducci. Absolutely. Those guys were solid. They were really solid, and you know, and I think that bonding started in camp. It started in camp, so camp will be critical to get back to camp next summer for preseason camp. So team leadership goes a long way if you got the right guys.
If you got the right guys, because it was a good camp, as I said. The food was incredible. Uh, when they brought that when they brought that salmon that night, oh man! But then the chicken, the fresh chicken, the fresh tuna, it was just, and it's so wholesome. And there was like 7 teams there, no, at camp,
Yeah, I think there's about seven. Yeah,
something like
there's
that.
about
Yeah,
there's about 7 teams, and it's a great opportunity to compete against those teams. While we're there, so that kids get to kind of get that experience prior to getting back home and getting into the mix into the regular season.
right, right.
So you get a lot of experience just going to camp. A lot of experience. The work ethic, the bonding, the camaraderie. All of those things and those pieces come together at camp, which you can't really emulate at school and practice, because kids go to practice in the morning, let's say, and then they leave and you don't see them until the next day if they even come back.
If they come back,
Because
yeah.
if they come back, because there's a lot of stuff going on at home, a lot of stuff going on, in their lives, and if they miss a couple of days of practice, I mean, it's big. It's a lot of information, a lot of work that they miss out on. So camp is an environment that is strictly football, and you're immersed in it. for 5 days. And it goes a long way to guys understanding that bonding process. And it helped us in a big way.
Yeah, Karen says it's good discipline, and
Oh,
she's correct.
absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and we got
Yeah.
Sedan, the God of Sound, that just piped in. He's an avid football. He has uh, thing. I don't know if it's a podcast, but for football, he's a stone cold football junkie, and
Okay.
yeah, he's a diehard Giant fan, huh? Like Spike
Okay.
Lee,
Well,
he's to the Knicks, he's to the Giants. The Giants won like think a half a game this year. They didn't even win the whole game.
yeah, they struggled this year. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
yeah. But he's a guy. Listen, he hangs in there with him, man. I take my hat off. I give him props for that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be football religion. Karen just pointed out. It's the name of his what he has like blog a podcast type thing, and Karen is actually his manager. Karen is, as I said, from Wisconsin, and Sedan is a
Hmm.
rap artist back in the day. He was out over there at around in the village in Rochdale Village. He's from South Side, but he used to have with those jams that they had back in the day. Yeah, he's and he can rap. He's got they say bars, and he's good lyrically prolific. He's in there. And Karen
I heard
is
the name before. I did hear the
yes,
name before.
yes,
Yeah.
Sedan. Maybe the Giants. Oh, Karen got jokes too. She said, maybe the Giants need Aaron Rodgers.
Listen.
She's got to laugh at that one. That's fun. But you know what? Actually, Aaron didn't have a bad season. He really didn't. He threw some interceptions and stuff. But the line, if you coach, if you don't have a line up front, now you got
You're
some
not gonna win no
potential
game.
there,
You're
quarterback.
not gonna win.
Not going to win. You got potential at quarterback. That kid, that freshman, he's got promise. He's got promise. You were in the chip with, cats that, listen, uh, they chip, they got to the chip, or I couldn't see Chip the first time. I didn't see that. I just saw a ball play. I saw a team. I saw unity. I saw guys that, they wanted it. They were hungry. I knew that. You know, you were with him throughout the whole, inception of it. Um, how many pieces you think are you away from the chip?
How many pieces? Well, listen. For this year, we made a couple of mistakes, and it cost us in the fourth quarter. And the guys that made those couple of pieces that made the mistake, those are first year guys who 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 are only playing football for the first time this year.
Number
So
72, he's coming back.
number 72, who's coming back, first time ever playing football. He did a nice job for us, and looking forward to having him back. So there was some spots, some little mistakes that he might have made that may have been some breakdowns a little
Well,
bit,
he
but
shot inside when that kid came up the gut, came up to off tackle and stuff. But you know what? That's
yeah,
as you always say, that's correctable. And
it's correctable mistakes. Yeah,
yeah, and I mean,
but he's a good kid. He works hard, comes to practice every day. I can't, kid makes a mistake out there. The best thing you can do is, talk to him about it, and hopefully, as I always tell him, don't make the same mistake twice. Learn
right.
from it. Be better. Be better next time. That's all.
I like what you say to the young men as well. Like when you don't beat them upside the head. As far as like when they make a mistake, or when you're prepping them, you tell them there's no do overs.
No, no do overs. When the game's over, it's over. You don't get it back.
and no
You don't get it
do-over.
back.
And that's food for thought because a lot of they might be a little not lackadaisical, but their focus is not 100%. For everything, and then you install put in their head, listen, pay attention. There's no do-overs. And I see
Well,
some kids sometimes they look like when you want to take the young men down to the gazebo and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh, that's an inside joke.
yeah.
But you know what? Um, yeah, you see the look on their face when you tell them no do-overs. It sticks in some of them. It makes them like that's heavy.
Well, a big part of coaching kids now, and this is not just in football. I would say this crosses over into youth sports across the board. Okay, you got to continuously repeat the same things that you want from them, and the things that or the expectations of whatever sport it is, because these kids are distracted and they're on their social media and they're all over the place. The social media has just got these guys, stuck on, you know, point A to point B, and they're just all over the place, on these different sites. And there's a lot of information coming at them. And so that distraction, no doubt, leads not only into the classroom, but also onto the field, to the basketball court or any other sport. So it's important that you kind of got to reinforce the important things that they need to know, because the kids that you are able to get across to, those are the kids that will be successful in the field. Some kids, have a hard time, and that's just the environment and the times that we're in, because it wasn't like this 10 years ago. When social media just came on the scene. So it's a little different today. And I've talked to many coaches, and all the coaches say the same thing. Kids just being distracted and lacking the focus that they need. So if you can get kids to focus and kind of, get that tunnel vision that they need to excel and to reach their maximum or their potential, then you got something there, and they can be successful. But there's a lot going on out there. There's a lot going into coaching these days. It's more than just X's and O's. Yeah.
Uh, I know you told me sometimes you got to coach the coaches.
Oh, please. There's no question about that.
I
You
mean, you got some young coaches that don't have an understanding of really what's going on. You know,
well, you know what? Young coaches. I don't know what young is nowadays. You got guys, grown men, coming out there 40 years old. You know, and so you do have to coach. I mean, I appreciate and I respect everybody that puts in the time to come out to coach, because it's time. You're giving up
yeah,
your time, and you can't get that time back. So I respect it, I appreciate it, but sometimes some coaches do things that are not in the best interest, not only of the kid but of the team, and they don't. And sometimes they just don't know any better. And just
yeah,
like the kids, you got to coach the coaches like you got to coach the kids, and that's true. Yeah,
interesting.
but you know what? Sometimes dealing with grown people, they're not as receptive. So that's not always easy.
Because what's the ideal scenario as far as like your coaching staff and the team? You know, what would you like? Your first day back. What would you walk into the gates and what would you like to see?
Well, the first thing I want to see is, who's paying attention when we, as we get together and begin to talk about the journey that we're getting ready to set off on. Who's paying attention? Who's watching? And you can immediately find out, the guys that you got to reel in, and that you got to get on the same page of where you need them, because it stands out. It doesn't take long to figure it out and to see, who needs some support, to kind of get them grounded, on the same page of where you need everyone to be.
Because I thought honestly, like like if you had some real assistance, some real help, like as a offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, you did both of those yourself this year, pretty much. You're from
Yeah,
the O side and the D side of the ball. You spread yourself thin. Then you got to oversee everything. You got to make sure there's numbers on the lockers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you spread you can't be all over the place, right? At the same time.
right.
You got to get the offensive scheme together, then the defensive scheme, the formations. When you spread that out, you get ready to run those jet sweeps and then the counters and stuff like that, and then get ready to prepare for defense. So it's not easy. So I think we talked about that. As far as like you have something in plan for next season. I'm not going to reveal it. That's your pet. However you feel, that's your call. Uh, bringing somebody that is solid. You got solid guys, no question about it. It's just a matter of like, as you said, keep their focus and don't get suited up for practice. Yo,
It's it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a challenge. I'll put it to you like that. It's
it's
a
a challenge.
challenge.
No question. No
It's a
question.
challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your plans, if you have any, or are you willing to reveal? You know,
Well, probably the first thing we need to do is find out what we got. We'll
that's
get
first and
together and
foremost. All right.
yeah, we'll get together and we'll start weight training. At the end of January, and we'll get back to back on the grind. Get these guys ready.
You
And
gonna
that's
invite me
where it
back to
starts.
camp? Am I coming back to camp?
Absolutely. That's something that I'd like to get started in actually in January, so that we can get the guys start thinking about where we're trying to go. We want to repeat what we did this year. We want to repeat next year. So we got to do the same things next year that we did this year to get to the chip. So we can't, slow down, and we can't do anything different. If we want to do anything different, it's got to be in the best interest of the team. But I think that everything that we've done in the past, in reference to this past season, we want to
Mhm.
duplicate. We want to stay on track, because, we started off-season training in January, in the weight room, out on the field, and in March, and then throughout the summer, and then camp in the fall. Looking forward to the regular season. So we kept them busy, and that's
Right.
what you got to do. We kept them busy.
And your defense, man. Uh, you know, I say stingy. You didn't yield any more than 8 points whole season. The last game, gave up 12.
Yeah,
We generate more offense, and that 12 points wouldn't have been nothing.
yeah,
But
yeah.
hey, You blanked. You closed the door on a few teams, but for the most part, 8 points. I forget what the average was. Throughout
The,
the
the average was about 4.4 points a game
good Lord have
that we
mercy,
gave up.
man.
Yeah.
That was it, 4 points. So because I kept looking, I said, man, I couldn't make a lot of the games and stuff, but it was just talking to you in the games. What was your record? Your overall record?
Overall record was 9-3. Yeah.
9-3. Damn.
Yeah. So we
Damn.
so
Nice.
we played some pretty good football this year. We scored some points, played good defense, and so happy with the guys what they did, and again they should be proud of themselves because they worked hard, they put the work in, and they got it done.
And then there was one game he lost was 8-6. Another game was
Eight
what was
zip,
it? Eight,
eight
yeah,
nothing.
8-0, eight
Right,
six, and then 12-8.
right.
The last one. That was it. So man, uh, I say I worked with the backs one day up at camp, and I seen Ducci. I said he had some promise. Strong cat. Didn't It was raw. All those cats were raw.
Yeah,
Like you were saying, at first year they didn't know anything or whatever. But man, they were willing. They were hungry. They wanted it. No question about that. I saw that, and I just wish I could have worked with them another day, at least another day or two. But I know the agenda. You got certain things that you have to do that's needed to be done. Hopefully this year I get a chance to work with the special team. The backs and the receivers. For at least uh, 2 days. If I can have 2 days, we get results with them. But I'll put that in your ear. And hopefully, man, get back to camp and get busy because
that's the key.
how many
That's
how many guys are
essential.
coming back?
Essential.
How many guys are coming back? Seniors.
Well, we only got right as of right now. We got about I think 13 guys coming back. 13 guys. So so we it's a rebuilding process. I think we have an offensive line coming back. Which out of
Look who we
that,
got on the check-in, coach.
what's that?
Albert Cole. Albert.
Wait a minute. That's the
That's
Iron
Al.
Man.
That's Albert. Albert Cole.
The Iron Man.
The Iron Man.
He did it
He
all.
says, "Great job, man. Great job." He's giving you applause
Hey,
on that.
Al did everything, but he really wanted to run the ball. He played
Listen,
offensive line
he
for us,
was a runner
but
though. He did it all.
yeah, he was. There's no doubt. No, he was a runner. Yeah, he ran the ball. Yeah, but he could do it all. He could do it all. Yeah, he did. He did.
Good to
Yeah,
see you, Albert. God bless you. He
yeah.
said, great job. And coach, he did do a great job. You did do a great job.
All right,
No
no
doubt.
question, no question. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, if we can get a few more guys just like him next year, we'll
Oh
be
man.
back.
And he was
That's it.
he was a stud. Al was in great shape.
Oh,
Excellent
please, come
condition.
on, man.
Huh?
Yeah, those are the kind of guys we need.
Remember that cat what did Shea Butter say to me? The dude, I said, man, here's a stud. Here's a guy here. But Al had the goods though. Albert had the whole the look, the frame, and everything like that with to work with. Had speed. He had it all. He had the package, no question.
Yeah, he got it done.
He got
Yeah,
it
yeah,
done.
he
What
did.
year was that? Was that 13, 14,
Uh, no. That was even earlier. That's probably, I think,
11,
11,
12,
12, 11, 12. Yeah,
something like that? Yeah.
yeah. With Abdul, right around that time. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. So that was
yeah.
10, 11, 12. Yeah. With
Yeah,
Abdul.
11, 12. It's 11, 12, right around there. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
JB was there.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So yeah. I mean, and again, even going back to when Albert played during those days, those were different players than we got today. I mean, they were more focused
Well,
back
like you said
when he
before,
played.
without the internet, without the inception of the social media and stuff like that, it was more, yeah, like you said, it was more focused on the game.
Yeah, there's more focus, and you didn't have to you didn't have to worry about kids lacking the focus that is required
Right.
on the field, and just explaining things to them because it's again different day. It really is.
Different day.
It is.
Different day.
But yeah, we made it through this year. Hopefully, we can get some of those same kids back next year with with the same commitment and focus, to win football games and to be better.
So the key is commitment and focus.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there's always some of those pieces that some kids have and they need other pieces. You might have a kid who has the talent, but he may not have the discipline. You have other kids who might have the discipline, but they don't necessarily have the focus on the field. So you got to kind of work with kids individually to kind of mold them, and to help them understand where they need to be. And you see it once they're on the field. You can kind of figure it out, because everybody's different,
Yeah.
and everybody has different buttons. So you kind of figure out what buttons to push, to get them where they need to be.
Listen, I want to thank you. Is there anything you want to say that we're leaving out or that we're missing? Or first, before we close it out completely, 100%, I wanted to with Coach Whitfield. Your book is still on the. It's called Paradise Lost. Calvin C. Whitfield. It's is that's still on Amazon?
Yeah, it is. It's yeah. It's still on Amazon, and yeah, it's a book that that's a memoir, and proud of it. Yeah,
No doubt.
so
I'm still writing my memoir.
still on the 9-yard line. Okay.
I'm still, yo, man, I'm still on the 9-yard line. I look at it every day, man. I almost like 3,000 words. Great. 23,000 words. Huh? Yo, man.
Yeah, hey, listen. You just got to put it out there.
But every time I get on there, man, I'm writing more. How do I close it out and put it together? I can't figure that shit out. It's just like, where do I just that's it. And but when I go back, I say, man, I keep adding more stuff. But I enjoy it. It's fun. I'd like to get it out there though.
Well, you know what? If it's about that play and all
That incident,
and everything that transpired following that incident, you got to kind of figure out how to tie it together.
That's what I'm trying to do.
To where you are now.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm at basically. That's the crux of it right there. So I just gotta close it off and then just put it out there. I want to record it. I don't want not like a Kindle, but I wanted my own voice with my expressions and stuff like that, my flavor to it. Maybe I should do a professional thing to it. I brought 2 recorders. I got 2, like them old MP3. They a lot of storage space on it. So I started talking into it a little bit. And it's brand new, but it's interesting. And how long did it take you to get your work together? Your memoirs?
I think, well, I wrote some, actually when I first sat down to really begin writing, I found some, which was probably back in 2013, 2012. at that time, I committed myself to actually writing it at that time. But as I looked through the paperwork, my notes, I saw notes from back in 1995.
Mm.
You know, when I actually jotted notes on some of the thoughts that I had back then. So it was a process. You know, so it went back again to the
Okay.
90s.
Okay.
But I really didn't sit down until 2012, 2013.
And
Yeah.
got serious. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So from 95
You know,
a
so
little stuff. So I don't feel bad now. Okay. All right.
no,
So yeah,
no, I don't feel better. But I mean, you know, writing is a process.
no doubt.
It's a process.
Well,
Yeah.
coach,
So you got time. Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you having me.
I enjoyed you.
And
This was good tonight.
hopefully, so if we get, you know, so hopefully next year we come on, we can talk about championship game and you
Listen,
know,
like I
and
say,
the
you had
results.
the chip basically just the fact that you got and took him as far as you did, and you almost pulled it off, man. You almost
Yeah.
pulled it off, brother. Like like making money earning Mount Vernon. Yeah. I told him, he said, yeah, Cal. I said, yeah, man, he was in the chips, bro. He yo, B, 4 points. 4 points. I'm like, yeah, yo, the squad he had, man. You know, like you say, it only came down to 2 or 3 plays that game. That's
That's
it.
it.
That's it.
That's
That
what came
kicker,
down.
you need a new kicker, man. Get that guy, have him do some fucking laps or something, man, some leg exercise, whatever the fuck. 12
Well,
fucking yards? Come on, man.
he's
What
just
the
saying
fuck
you.
was that about?
Oh, you're talking about the punter. Okay.
The
Yeah.
punter.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Huh? Fourth and
Yeah.
two. I know you look back, said, man, should have went for that shit, but who knew? Who the fuck
Yeah.
knew?
You know, and those are the little, and that's one of those plays. It was that we lost that game based on 2 or 3 plays, and that was one of those plays. That was one of those plays because everything he did on that play to punt the ball was different than he did throughout the season. He did something totally different. That time he punted the ball.
You said he's hella on the doing his regular job, doing his thing. He's a solid ball player.
No, he's a solid kid. He's probably, he might be the best lineman that we have, but he did something totally different, punting the ball in this particular play. Why? I don't know. I mean, but that's what they do. They just, all of a sudden they'll do something the right way, you know, 10 times, and then all of a sudden they do something different. And why? I don't know. I have no idea. But but that's what happens, man. When you coach these kids and they see something out there or they experience something out there, all of a sudden they're doing something different.
You don't think, like you
But
say, you said before, the weather wasn't a fact. You think he
no,
shanked it.
no,
He shanked that punt, and
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't even a shank.
it wasn't a
When
shank.
you, no, it wasn't a shank. Because when you look at it on film, the mechanics of kicking the ball was totally different than he did any other time. It wasn't the same. He did something totally different. Totally. Why? I just don't know.
When that ball went like that, it's like my heart sank because I was like, damn. And then even the comment, he said, man, the Jamaica, they only gained 12 yards on they should have went for, they even said it. They should have went for it. The Brooklyn commentators, they
Yeah,
were pulling
yeah,
for Grady all the way. The
yeah,
Queens, we had won it last year, Queens, and they didn't want to see Queens repeat. They really didn't, man.
yeah.
They
I'm
were
sure
hyped.
they did.
They were hyped for Grady.
Yeah, but yeah. So hopefully, hey, listen, hopefully we get back next year and we'll work to get there. That's all we can do.
So you can do.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Enjoy the rest of your night. Give your
Okay.
love to your better half, and tell her I said what's up.
I
And
will definitely.
all right, Cal. God bless you,
Thanks for
brother.
having me. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Later.
All right. Big Al Cole, man. Good seeing you.
No doubt.
All right.
All right. Yes, yes, yes. As Coach Whitfield, Jamaica High School, varsity squad, huh? That was a nice piece there that we had. Nice talk. I enjoyed that, and he's a real coach. He's in every sense of the word. He's dedicated and true to his job, committed. And those young men, they're getting it from the best. I'll tell you that. He does his what did he say? The X's and O's, and that's what it's all about. That's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, he's an approachable man, but he's firm. What Mills Lane, the boxing referee, who was a judge as well, he says, I'm fit. What he said, I'm hard but fair. You know what I'm saying? And he's that. He's an old school coach, and he stresses discipline, but he stresses more fundamentals and techniques. From what I've learned and been around him, he wants to get it right. And once you apply the technique and do what you're supposed to do, it will be right. So I know it's only 2 or 3 plays from that, but that's okay because on the skill and talent side, Ben, the other team had more of an advantage on that side of it. But the field was leveled. Jamaica went up 8-0 in the first half, right? These guys, Grady Brooklyn team, they didn't even get on the board until the fourth quarter, right? And it came down with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left when they started to make a move. It was only about a minute and change when that kid broke up the middle, the quarterback, number 4, and took it down to like the 12-yard line. That was the difference. And but again, I don't want to go over the game all over again, but it was all good. But I want to tell you about the shows I got coming down the pipe that I got coming up to shoot. I got next week on the what's that, the 18th. I don't think we're gonna do a Christmas show. I don't know. I'll see. But I got Kevin Joy, fabulous headline kid. You know, Kevin is an old friend as well. Kevin and I played football together. Kevin, we went to Bayside High School, but Kevin now is a headline comedian, and he's got a couple of screenplays, and he's got a special as well, a comedy special. At last count, I forget, it was like 12 million views that he had, or something like that. Kevin will be here to tell you about that. That's Kevin there on one shot. That's a nice picture. And then I like this one here. It looks like he might be in Vegas on this joint here. And yeah, he does his thing. He's a funny guy, funny man. Not guy, he's a funny man. And as I said, we were at Bayside. He was good, him and his brother Vance. And Kevin put up a storyboard too. Let me see if I got some of those pictures. Did I? No, I didn't put those up yet. But when Kevin comes, we'll see that with his brother Vance. I played with Vance as well. They both were track stars that can run. And yeah, so look for next week, Kevin Jordan, and coming up, Art Garfield, another headline comedian. He was opening up for the Cosby Show. He wrote a book, "Power Is My Mentor," and in the movie "More Money" with Damon Wayans, and he was on tour. He works. He's a working comedian. He stays busy as well, like Kevin. Kevin's a working headline comedian, and so that's what I got coming down the pipe. And also, we want to have a follow up. Want to thank. Last night we had a terrific show. I had the Clientele Brothers, huh? Playboy Mikey D, and Eddie OJ, and Will Seville. But Will, I had got tied up. He had some other stuff, so but we had Eddie OJ and Mikey D. We had last night ago, and got Ed coming back in a couple of weeks. I guess we'll wait till after the holidays. Him and I were talking, and we probably didn't realize, or maybe we did, that the week after the 18th is the 25th. I like to do it on Wednesday. I like to stay consistent with that, but it's not written in stone. But maybe we'll do Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll work it out. But Ed has agreed to come back. He's got a rhyme is vicious that he wants to you know uh, break down and put it out there. It's like, I'm old school, as I said before, and I listen to rhymes and stuff and raps when people talk. And he's got some really, really interesting lyrics, and it needs to be heard. I'll tell you that. But yeah, so I'm gonna close it out. Uh, this. Come on. Uh, 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 uh. Karen says kids need someone to take the time to show them how. And that's facts, Karen. Yes, yes. Have a good night. And God bless you all. Stay safe. People through this crazy time. That nut job that shot that executive in the back. All kind of craziness is out there. So watch yourself. Be on point. Have a good night. And thank you. Come on.